Welcome to Arcade Audio.
Welcome to Dilettante Ball. I'm Johnny.
I'm Spencer.
Here on Dilettante Ball, we go on Wikipedia.
We click random article.
And we talk about it.
Yeah, we do. Johnny,
I
what
was just
hell?
going to say I got a little caught up in my words there, but I think I made it through okay, but I felt like I had a little bit of
I think we nailed
mush
it.
mouth.
I think we nailed it.
Okay.
Do you know who was that that Olympic gymnast who like had a hurt ankle, but she was able to compete anyway?
Oh.
Was it Nancy Kerrigan? It wasn't Nancy Kerrigan.
No,
it was,
no. Mary Lou Retton?
That sounds right.
I feel like that's not right, but that's the only gymnast I know.
She like does her crazy parallel bars routine or whatever it is, and then she lands and she like nails it.
And then she just like steps off the mat and like pukes and like
because that was you right now, man. Like you fucking did it anyway, man. Doesn't matter. Johnny, dude, I've got a couple of awesome reviews from some awesome listeners.
Okay, do you have bad reviews from bad listeners?
I have a couple of them, yeah, but bad like Michael Jackson style.
Have we gotten any? We haven't gotten any negative reviews yet.
Wow, way to jinx it, but no.
I'm waiting.
So,
because that's how you know when you've made it, I think, is when...
I'd rather not make it, baby.
And here's why. Right now, it's only
people
that love us.
But when haters are taking the time out
exactly. It's like some stranger who's like, I'll give this a try. I never heard of this before.
Right.
I hate this.
I hate it.
I think that's when you've made it. Because it means that
it's gone out of your realm of...
Yeah, it means that you're reaching enough people that it's not just the people who would already be listening.
You're so right.
So please tell your friends that would hate us to listen.
God, I hate this so much. Although those reviews will be really funny, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like... 1 star, like these knuckleheads, just talk about.
Can I say something about reviews real quick?
Please.
I used to work for a marketing agency,
mm-hmm.
and we would get reviews for clients on like Yelp and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And part of my job was to go and any negative review, just try and fight it, no matter how like
contest it with Yelp or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. This person never even came in. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No matter how like
trivial or
how real the situation was, it was insane.
That's bizarre.
And then Yelp was like, we can't do anything. And all the time I would tell the people who were telling me to do this, I was like, Yelp can't fucking do anything. Just like tell the clients to stop being dickheads.
Yeah.
That's the solution, is to be better.
God, that's everything that's wrong with the world.
Yeah, but good on Yelp for
sticking to the guns and like we're trying to provide a service. I love it. 5 stars, Yelp. Here's our first review by the state of Ohio, which is
whole
awesome.
Fucking state.
So yeah, lots of astronauts and that's it, just astronauts.
And hey, basketball champs.
Ooh yeah, and WWE champs. Dean Ambrose is from Ohio. I'm sure we got a lot of wrestling fans listening to our podcast right now.
Probably.
Congratulations, Dean Ambrose. Congratulations, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Congratulations, astronauts.
Yeah, and moms of astronauts and dads of astronauts. The state of Ohio says, wholesome educational entertainment for the whole family.
Wrong.
Johnny and Spencer are widely regarded as America's foremost straight, white, positive role models. And they're... and their opinions on such subjects as Star Wars, Obamacare, and the great sport of cricket should be accepted without question. Smile you later.
Oh my god. They're not wrong.
No, they're really not wrong. Johnny, I've got a second podcast or a second.
I love so little inside baseball. We had to re-record reading this review because part of it was cut off in our image, and the first time that we did it, Spencer also said, "I've got another podcast."
I'm so sorry, Johnny. I've got another review here for you.
Okay.
And I should mention the previous review was titled A+. This one is titled The Only Podcast I Listen to Without Fail by Mishi Stellar, grade 10. She doesn't say that, but it felt like what I did over the summer. Mishi says, I listen to a lot of podcasts, an unfeasible amount really. And so there are some times when some get pushed onto the back burner and don't get listened to right away. Not so with this one. No, every Tuesday my commute is made about 38% better by the addition of Johnny and Spencer.
I assume I'm 30%, you're 8%.
Well, they go on to call us the avuncular duo.
Aww.
Which is...
I strive to be avuncular.
Yeah, technically we both are, since we're uncles.
That's true. So we're each other's uncles, which is weird.
I don't want to talk about it on this podcast, though. Sometimes I learn so much about random things, and other times I spend it laughing or raging at their incorrect assumptions about things. If you want to listen to the backlog and know American history, the States episodes are a wonderful treat, and I was eagerly waiting for each one. Anyways, I love this podcast, and everyone else will too. Spencer, you're amazing. I promise it says that. Johnny, you're a pretty cool dude too.
Dang, Mishi.
Keep it up. Now, if only they would do more Goosebumps books. Hashtag Halloween Creep 2K16.
Dang.
Mishi, you're the best.
Mishi, you're okay.
Yeah, so if you leave us reviews of any stars.
1 star, 4 star, 5 star. I'm not fucking with 2 or 3 star
You know
reviews.
that's fair. Yeah, should I get off the pod? And we'll read them on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, if you want to, you can even reach out to us by email at it's dilettanteball@gmail.com.
Like probably. Or tweet us at dilettanteball, DILETTANTEBALL. Hashtag, hey, buds. But buds with a Z.
With a Z, yeah.
If it's an S, we will not respond.
I swear to God, we won't respond.
To help Mishi with this unfeasible podcast dilemma, I've been listening to podcasts at 1.4 speed lately.
Wow. I've been doing it at 1.2.
It's up to my fucking game.
Yeah, you can really just crank some out.
Yeah, and I actually just read an article today that there's a Chrome extension to watch like Netflix and shit.
That's awesome.
At 1.2, 1.4 speed.
I want that. That's so vital to me because I watch a ton of. I'm doing this wrestling blog, and so I'm like, I just have to sit here for like an hour a day and just watch something.
It does. Whatever is playing in the browser, it speeds up.
That's awesome. That's gonna save me so much time.
Especially, I bet there's a lot of like just hemming and hawing and wrestling.
There is so much. Like half of wrestling is just fast forwarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Man. Wow.
And I could see that being really useful for some shows. So other shows I like to enjoy.
Take your time. Yeah. Right.
But I could definitely see like
like watching like Gilmore Girls or West Wing.
Yeah.
Like, let's speed those things up.
Make them run and talks.
Yeah.
For sure. So the other article was saying that's the future of watching television, and I
fully agree.
Yeah, I agree too. Let's get into whatever we do here. You know, Jessica and I tried to watch The West Wing. We watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and we could not get into it.
I feel like I'm not even gonna try.
It was rough, and I've heard such great things, and I really wanted to like get into it, and it was just rough. All right.
I know Jimmy Smits is in a few episodes, so I'll go watch those.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, good luck. Wow. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay, but the translation.
What's the translation?
I'll read it to you. I'll read you the German first. Okay. I think I can actually get pretty close. Hold on. Let me just read it in my head first because I really think I can nail this. Okay. German is
like a second language to you?
Yes. No, it's very
it's very similar to
it's very phonetic.
Okay. Sure.
Komm du Stusse, Todesstunde, BWV 161.
All right, cool, awesome.
I wonder.
That sounded really good.
Komm du Stusse, Todesstunde, except that's not a German accent. Komm du, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, do that.
The translation. Come, O sweet hour of death.
Oh my God, yes.
So
whatever church that is, sign me the fuck up, baptize me.
So we are in hog heaven right now. Hashtag Halloween Creep 2K16 for real.
Oh my God. A German hymn called what? Oh, come thou sweet
Come,
death?
O sweet hour of death.
That is fucking metal.
Also, I'm assuming come means come. Do is O or whatever of. Susa, I assume is sweet. So Todesstunde
is a word meaning hour of death. Leave it to the Germans to have a word for that.
I mean, they do just combine words like insane.
Right. Like Autobahn.
Yeah. It's like, what's a word that means this thing? Well, what is this thing? It's a road for cars. Okay, road for cars, but just one word.
We're
Got
done.
it.
Next.
So, but still, like,
fuck
dang.
Yeah. Damn.
It's a church cantata composed by Johann Sebastian Bach in Weimar for the 16th Sunday after Trinity.
Okay.
Bach had taken up a regular cantata composition 2 years before when he was promoted to concertmaster at the Weimar court, writing one cantata per month to be performed in the Schlosskreis. Ooh, nailed it. No, wait. Schloss Kirche.
Nailed it.
Schloss Kirche. The court chapel in the Ducal Schloss. Whatever that means. The text of Comme du Susa Todestunde, as of most other cantatas.
This is rough, dude.
I know it. In Weimar was provided by court poet Solomon Frank. He based it on the prescribed gospel reading about the young man from Nain. Do you know anything about that? I sure don't.
There was a young man from Nain who went outside in the rain. He didn't wear boots. He got a lot of... Oh, God, I'm losing it. I can't.
Oh, well.
We can't do a proper German limerick here, I guess.
There once was a young man from Nain.
You want me to do the...
He went for a walk in the rain. He didn't wear boots.
He played on his lute and drove his poor mother insane.
Nailed it. It reflects...
So worth it.
It reflects on longing for death.
Yeah.
Seen as a transition of life united with Jesus.
Whatever. Fuck that.
The text includes a closing chorale, the fourth stanza of the hymn. Jesus, so much German.
Kill me, kill me,
Herzlich
kill
tut
me.
mich verlangen. Nailed that one for sure. By Christoph Knoll. The libretto was published in a collection in 1715, but due to a period of public mourning, Bach possibly led the first performance only a year later on 27 September 1716. So, blah, blah, blah. I just want to get to the lyrics. Come on. Whew. Ready?
Yep.
I yearn from my heart for a peaceful end. Since here I am surrounded by sorrow and wretchedness, I wish to depart from this evil world. I long for heavenly joys. Oh, Jesus, come quickly.
Oh, my
Fuck
God, dude.
me. That is so cool. Oh,
Man. It is...
this is the best. Okay, so it's broken up. So these are the it has multiple movements. In movement 2, the tenor recitative. World, your pleasure is a burden. I desire to pasture soon with Christ. I desire to depart from this world. Movement 3, the aria for tenor. My longing is to embrace my Savior. Alto recitative. The end has already come. Okay. Fifth movement is the chorale. If it is my God's will, may this be my last word.
Drums in the deep, they are coming.
The closing chorale. The body, indeed, in the earth will be consumed. This is so cool. Will be consumed by worms. Yet it shall be resurrected, beautifully transfigured through Christ. It will shine like the sun and live without grief in heavenly joy and delight. What harm can death do to me then?
Fuck you, death. Come at me, bro.
This is so fucking cool. I want to hear it so bad.
Yeah.
Is there... Okay, sometimes there's like a sample in the Wikipedia article, and here there is not, so we will never know what it sounds like. Man.
So he wrote this like 400 years ago? Like when it was 1600s?
Yeah. People have been
17?
People have been miserable forever, and it's awesome. And it's crazy. It's crazy to be like, and I want my body to be eaten by worms. That feels like such a modern thing to say, you know?
Yeah, like they were aware of what worms were and what they did and how decomposing works.
And also just I don't know, just the attitude behind it is like,
fuck it.
Just I'll be pushing up daisies, you know,
right.
like
dust to dust.
So flippant. Take me, death. I don't give a fuck. Anything's better than the burdens of the earthly pleasures. Man, if that's what dying is like, sign me the fuck up.
I hear you, dude. Damn. And it wasn't like some random guy. It was like fucking Bach.
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah.
Oh, I have a that reminds me of a joke. We were talking about jokes last episode.
We were.
You want to hear a joke?
Sure, hit me.
Okay, so this
brother,
this guy, I don't want this to be our thing.
Well, it is now.
But it is now. So this guy gets a job as the groundskeeper for a cemetery, and the guy who leaves, he quits, you know, to the position he's filling, and on his last day, they're crossing paths. He's like, "Good luck, man. There's some really crazy stuff in this cemetery." And the guy's like, "Okay, whatever."
I thought that was gonna be the punchline right there.
No,
like,
you wish.
Good luck, man. It's like it's dead in there. Like,
oh boy.
Yeah. Like, okay, dude. Cool.
So the first night, the groundskeeper's making the rounds, walking around, and out in the distance, out in the far distance of the graveyard, he hears music. And he's like, "What is this music? This is so crazy." And he looks all around. He can't find where it's coming from, but he just hears this music. He's like, "What is this music?" He was like, "Oh, it's probably maybe someone is playing music down the road, and the wind is blowing the sound, or whatever." So he just thinks nothing of it. Next night he hears it again. So he calls his friend who's a musician.
Okay.
He's like, "What is this music? Have you heard this before? I have no idea what it is." And the musician's like, "Well, I think I've heard it before. It sounds like Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, but being played backwards. It's so weird." Which is also outside of the joke. The Beatles song "Because" is Moonlight Sonata played backwards.
Cool.
Anyway,
so put that song on while you're listening to this joke.
Yeah, because that's a kind of spooky song.
Yeah. Okay.
So then he's like, well, Moonlight Sonata being played backwards. Did Beethoven do Moonlight Sonata?
You're asking the wrong dude, man.
Assume it was Beethoven. It's like that's so weird. And the guy's like, "I'm just a musician. I can't help you, man. That's
Sure.
all. I can just tell you what it is. I can't tell you why."
Sure.
He's like, "Okay." So the next night he hears the music again. It's louder. Every night it's louder and louder. And he's like, "What is going on?" So finally he calls a paranormal expert in.
Sure.
Paranormal expert comes. He's like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "Well, every night around this time, just in the back of the graveyard, I hear this music, and it's Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, but it's being played backwards, and I can't figure out where it's coming from, what the deal is." And the investigator's like, "Okay, well, let me check it out." He goes, he walks up and down all the aisles, or all the rows of the graves, and he's walking all around, and dawn is getting ready to break, and it's finally hours and hours later. He comes in, and he says, "Well, I think I found out what's going on."
Yeah.
That's it's just Beethoven decomposing.
So stupid. Oh God, that's like the ultimate grandpa joke.
I know.
God damn it.
Sucks.
Like, I don't hate it at all. But
pretty
it's
good. It's pretty
damn
good.
it, man.
My favorite part about those jokes is how fucking long they are for
Such
no
an
reason.
elaborate setup, just to like, okay, how do I work myself into this pun? Like, I need these 3 or 4 like steps in this puzzle. Like,
so anyway, man, I can't wait to die.
I can't wait till you die either.
What do you think
will be the best part of dying?
Well, no, I mean death will be the best part. Halloween is like spooky now. How spooky do you think it was, like, when, like, back then when people actually were like, "Oh yeah, like ghosts and demons and gremlins are fucking real."
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
We're doing Halloween for a reason, and it's whatever the fuck weirdo reason it is to spook the spooks, so that they whatever.
I feel like it's actually less spooky now. I think I feel like in America, like, peak spookiness was maybe
70s.
I was gonna say it started waning, like maybe in the 60s or 70s, and it was like hyper super duper spooky in like the 1800s.
Oh my God!
Up until like maybe the 20s and maybe the 30s.
Then it waned
kind
a little.
Of plateaued maybe.
Well, and I think the spookiness from the 70s is also just there were a lot of serial killers in the 70s, so it's not really even a Halloween spookiness. It's just a general spookiness.
I'm picturing specifically in my head like spooky American Halloween, like it's like 1920, and it's like little girls wearing like weird potato sack faces.
Oh yeah,
and like they're like kind of witches, but they're like real witches, and it's hard to. It's like. It's not the like, a pointy hat and wart nose and my broom. It's like you're like a real witch and you have a weird potato sack face. Like, you will murder me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just like real grainy, like sepia tone, like weird photos.
Isn't it weird that things were color like back then? Because you only see it's so white, it's like impossible to imagine what things looked like.
That's why I love people who are able to colorize photos.
It's nutty.
I saw the two that come to my head are just a bunch of just Russians in like the 1890s, just like Russian peasants just living.
Those Are those colorized?
They might
'Cause
actually
there are
color.
some. I think there are like color World War I photos, which is like nutty.
Sure. And the other one I'm thinking of is Abraham Lincoln with like George McClellan and another guy just at a camp,
Weird.
just sitting like around a chess table or something, and it's like, wow, this is cool, man. This is just Abraham Lincoln, just like
So
what he
weird.
looked like, you know. It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it though. It really makes a huge difference. It really does.
Do you think that we'll ever get back? Do you think that spookiness has completely peaked, or do you think that we'll ever get back?
See, the thing is, so like when you go on a roller coaster, you're like quote unquote scared.
Sure.
Because like, whoa, it's crazy, but you know you're safe the whole time. And I think that's where scariness is right now. And there's no authentic, like nobody actually believes in demons or spirits or ghosts.
Goosts and goblins.
And that's what we need is for people to genuinely fear those things. And, you know,
Here's two things.
like the internet's killed it.
I think that's why, because I don't get really
No.
spooked by anything.
No.
But I like a good, not in a movie, but in real life and in like a haunted house type scenario, I like a good jump scare.
Sure.
In movies, I think it's pretty cheap.
Sure.
Jump
Yeah,
scare.
I do. Yeah. It's
But
like
yeah,
it's-
but if you're going through a haunted house, that's like the ultimate. It's like, oh,
This guy
I'm
will
here
murder
in
me.
it, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I love that. But I think the internet has killed it. But I think that there's opportunity for the internet to bring it back around.
I think so too. With
'Cause
things like no sleep subreddits and stuff like that, just like weird like Goatman stories.
I mean that one No Sleep Goatman story, which I will
Yeah.
post, or it's a creepy pasta.
right.
I'll post it, and I'm sure we talked about it. It's the best scary story.
For me, the thing that I like about scariness or being frightened is just like a sense of dread.
Yeah,
Like not necessarily like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed. It's like, oh my god, like I don't know what's happening. Like I'm just living in this world.
it's just
of
unknown.
Like,
Unknown is what it is.
yeah, right.
And I think that's the cool thing also about a lot of those like No Sleep and creepypasta stories is like it's a lot of times it's not even necessarily paranormal or supernatural. It's just like creepy weird shit.
Like there's a story I won't be able to remember, but it was told in parts and
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
for real.
Yeah.
So like a lot of it is just it's like, oh, and in retrospect I realized that like our neighbor had just been watching us from like a hole in the basement he had dug, and he had been living in our house for 10 years and we didn't know it.
It was like a kid, and as he grew up, like all different.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what it was called. It was eventually
One more-
collected into a book.
Oh, is that right?
That person who wrote it collected it into a book, but it was like,
he got chased out into the woods or
Yeah.
got drawn into the woods somehow.
and
by,
then there
like-
was some weird thing with like a lake. Something happened around
Yeah.
a lake. It's pretty long, but yeah, it's like a bunch of.
and nothing's overtly scary, but just like in retrospect,
When you
you're like,
when
oh
you
my
piece it all
God,
together,
like,
it's like this is weird.
yeah,
yeah, so cool.
for sure.
So and I think also there's a lot of stuff just about the internet that people don't understand, about technology that people don't understand, that I think could be spooky. There was a movie not that long ago. I never saw it, but it was like computers are haunted or whatever.
Right.
Which the idea is neat, or even like The Ring.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
like-
just VHS tape. And
Yeah, it's like that's crazy. So
Sure.
I think that there's we could come back around.
Okay.
Especially, gosh, with like VR technology and stuff.
Oh,
It's like
God, dude, I was watching E3, which is like the big video game expo they have every year, and they showed the just footage of the new Resident Evil game, which looks scary
Forget
as
it.
fuck. And at the end of the trailer, they were like, and it's compatible with PlayStation VR.
Nope.
Coming out in October. I was like,
Pass.
fuck you. I will never play that.
yeah, and yeah, I think just the idea that eventually, once technology is so good,
Yeah.
that you can be looking at something and it'll just look real.
Right. You are in that thing.
Forget
yeah,
it.
for sure.
Forget
That's
it.
next level. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh God, dude. Yeah. I don't know. Well,
me neither. Just
just kiss your loved ones goodnight. Forever.
I hate. Speaking of Freddie Mercury,
Mm-mm.
I fucking hate that like idiots think that he's like the epitome of rock and roll music, and it's like, how many people did it take to write this Katy Perry song, and how many people did it whatever?
Right.
How many people did it take to write Bohemian Rhapsody, the best song ever written?
Right.
One. I just fucking hate it.
I saw. I know what you're talking about. Like, look at these lyrics, and then look at
Yeah.
these lyrics. Someone did. They're like, you can pick and choose anything you want, and they picked bicycle.
I mean, this song sucks.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me most mad about that mentality that one person should only be writing whatever.
Right.
Elton John didn't write his own fucking
None of them.
music.
Like, none of them, yeah.
Like, and he's the best ever forever.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.